It would appear that things are getting quite interesting out here. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome. We're going to be starting off here with a Sky Striker list that genuinely has my interest. The fact that you are seeing 3 of the many Sky Striker assistants to kind of help you out and go through your extension combos, triple engage in this bad boy, also helping you out, and we get the chance to see Sky Striker Camellia coming together to help this deck out as well. I was always curious to kind of see how the OCG would start to adapt Striker towards some of the more crazy things that we've been seeing here. Also, we're main decking the jamming waves and siding the afterburners, which is actually kind of insane. Also, Pot of Avarice now seeing play in this deck. Considering how much you can turbo draw through this deck and get to your resources to, assist you along the OTK lines, this is the kind of stuff that you do want to see. Like, this is actually kind of crazy to me for how this deck is evolving down here. And, yeah, I see we have some floodgates down here as well. Next up here, we have Fallen of Albaz actually winning that tournament that you just saw, that Striker deck getting second place in here. Now, what's very interesting about this is we're maximizing Albions. We're playing Maximus to try to generate some advantage here, kind of punish the opponent along the way, trying to generate as much advantage as you can. And also, I mean, the OCG still has Expulsion, which, interestingly enough, they're only side decking the Gimmick Puppet. This build has, I guess, no real use of trying to take advantage of it in the main, which is kind of cool, actually. It's just something that's kind of there. Also, the triple Nadir Servant that this build is taking advantage of, a little bit crazy. It kind of comes down to, how much power you're trying to ramp into a deck and how much you're trying to just crush the meta. And I will say, definitely interesting. Soul Release also, once again, still seeing massive amounts of play here. Next up here, we have Naturia Runic. Man, the OCG loves this deck. We have seen so much of this build kind of sticking around out here and kind of turning into this this menace that allows you to kind of control the game. Maybe not so much in like the way that you would necessarily expect, but that Naturia Recursion package also giving you access to some level 10s that you really shouldn't have access to, like Baron. And you can also stop by a Naturia Beast along the way, so now you're suddenly, you're snowball controlling your opponent even more. Yeah, this is why the TCG put the Naturia Sacred Tree to 1. We didn't want to deal with that infinite recursion well that we were starting to see out here. And I'm not going to lie, like, it's really crazy when this deck starts its little wave of infinite, like, resource management. Also, free synchros. Free synchros indeed. Once again, shouldn't have access to level 10s, but, they can do it. Next up, so this is what we're expecting the Fire King Snake Eyes deck to kind of evolve into over time here. And, it's kind of amazing just to see all of these engines being warped together and taking advantage of the levels of insanity, just how much this flows together. Also, Triple Snake Eyes Ash is a busted concept, man. Like, it is crazy to me just watching the combo lines with this deck, getting the chance to resolve the bonfire interactions. Also, the Blazing Hita down here, just now with how much fire is running around in the meta, you're going to get to take all of this advantage that's kind of floating around in the meta and just crush it. Also, Zealantis being able to be made now as the additional text on any rank 4. Yeah, that might have been a problem. I don't know if Konami actually, had the foresight to kind of process what was going to happen there, but, well, that's what we're seeing. Next up here, we had more Fire King Snake Eyes out of the same event. Talk about a ramp up of things here. Now, this build a little bit different here. We're not playing the Fire King stuff. We're just doing mainly the interactions with the Snake Eyes stuff to make sure that you can kind of, set up a board and do your thing. Double Promethean Princess also now kind of finding itself as a mainstay across a majority of these builds, which is fine. I also see that we are playing Triple Forbidden Droplet. Yes, board breaking. Very crucial. Alright, you're going to find yourself out here with a lot of cards to assist you in a lot of the board breaking potential, and it's good. Also, the subversion of the Snake Eyes spell card still seeing play down here. I figured a lot of people kind of navigate away from this. Maybe not so much wanting to find themselves playing it, but it's definitely been interesting just seeing how many people are kind of navigating maybe back towards it. So interesting. And then we have more Fire King Snake Eyes. I swear this entire tournament was just, oh, hey, look, we're playing the most optimized meta builds that we can actually pack into a deck. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting to win. I perfectly understand that. Now, side deck down here, I do see that we're playing a Change of Heart, a Heavy Storm, and a Feather Duster, along with the Soul Release, and the Thrust. So Thrust generically turning into additional copies of all of these power cards out here to make sure that you can crush your opponent. We're still playing the one Amalgamation in the main deck. Triple Snake Eyes, Ash. I think Ash is going to be a triple of kind of going forward here. I don't see a lot of people kind of steering away from that. Also, we're only playing one copy of the Fire King activation of the field spell from the deck. That's been something we've been seeing a lot more people kind of steer away from. While it is incredibly powerful, it's just kind of pushing away from that side of things. Definitely opens up the door for more potential. Next up here, oh wow, a Labyrinth Duelist managed to top 4 that infested fire format. Okay, so we are playing the one Ice Dragon's Prison. You are going to have to rely on Ice Dragon's Prison to clean up a lot of that issues going on in the meta. But is that Dark World Puppetry down there? Yes, it is. Dark World Puppetry is something that's been being discussed by Labyrinth players right now, just kind of as an action point to take against, you know, these massive graveyard recursion decks. Also, you know, you can recur back one of your fiend monsters that you find getting banished somewhere along the way. So you're going to get the chance to take advantage of that, which is actually pretty good. Once again, don't underestimate the power of recursion. I also see we're playing mini Underworld Goddess in here, and Underworld Goddess, This build's definitely trying out some of the potential weirder things that we haven't really seen all that much out here, but okay, sure. Interesting little take on that. So, what an event. Next up here, oh man, more fire. We're going to be seeing a lot of fire, I feel like, here. Just kind of as things go on. Triple Snake Eyes, Ash, double Populous. I feel like that's pretty normal at this point. One of the activation of the Fire King field spell, 2 of the field spell. It's pretty normal as well. 1 crossout, double call by. Got to make sure that your opponent's not getting the chance to do anything. You do see the 1 Soul Release down here, but no Thrust to get it. We're just relying on double talents. I guess if it's one of those things, if you draw it, you draw it. You know, you can generate this advantage and kind of be okay with it. But I don't know. Thrust just feels like one of those cards that you look at and you're like, you want to make sure that you can generate the power off of it. So, you know, you're going places. Outside of that, I mean, feels a little bit clunky, but all right, interesting. How many fire builds was that for today? So much fire, man. It is not stopping out here at all. Like, oof. Next up, we have a Resonator Centurion pile. Okay, so this build is basically you're going down the Centurion lines, trying to get in one last run out here with the King Calamities, because you know King Calamity is getting banned, well, literally on January 1st. So, unfortunately, we're not going to get the chance to see that stick around for too long, but maybe they'll have some sort of replacement along the way. You know, they made the deck massively able to access these level 12s, so maybe they'll come up with some sort of engine to kind of supplement that. But outside of that, 1 skill drain. We're playing some evenlies down here. The side deck, a little bit more spread out amongst things. I do see that we are playing the level 10 Shooting Majestic Star Dragon in here. Is that something you can actually access? Like, are we actually doing that? I suppose some of the more interesting little combo lines that you can access into with your dragon. Okay, gotta love Crimson Dragon. And our last list here is a Tri-Brigade, Nimble, good stuff. You see the 1 Revolt here. You have the Drolls. Ninja Mosquito Man is a busted card. Holy crap. You want to talk about just getting the chance to steal games that you normally should not be able to steal? That's how. Not much of a side, or no side deck posted here. This is just a straightforward Tri-Brigade power build here, so you can kind of see what's going on with this. So nice little breakdown of some of the more interesting OCG decks that we're kind of seeing right now. Definitely interesting. So please, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons! Thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.